So let's go ahead and talk about the extra credit for the project. Um, we want to know how Western Mass compares to the country as a whole in terms of the percent who currently use marijuana. So it says 12% currently use it. So I went ahead and made my p-value 12, right? And let's see. And then I got to figure out my p-hat. So then what I have to do is I have to open up the other article that I showed you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. So here's the other article. I've already gone down to, what is this, page, I think it's technically page 4. Even though it says page 8 up here. It says, once duplicates were removed from the study results, there were 3,000 individuals that responded to the survey. Yada, 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 yada. We're looking at Western Mass. Here we go. For our region, residents of western area of the state report the highest prevalence of past 30-day marijuana use, which is about 30%. So I went ahead and found this. And most people found this too. The problem that we kept running into is that our sample size is not 3,022 because that's for the entire state. It is also not 2,500 because that is the number of people they contacted, but then they had to get rid of a whole bunch of people, or a bunch of people didn't respond, right? Or there might have been duplicates. So this number is incorrect too. So what we have to do is we have to find our sample size. Our sample size turns out to be 396, and this is the extra credit part. So once you realize you don't have the sample size, you have to figure it out. And so you can look at this survey and you're like, oh, do I find the sample size in here? But the sample size is not in this in this document. You have to look up the whole survey. So this survey is called Marijuana Baseline Health Study Report Findings. So you Google this, and you find the actual survey. Let me go ahead and bring that up, or the actual report, I should say. So here's the actual report. It is huge. It is enormous. Like, it's 328 pages long. I scrolled around a while until I found the one part that I care about. So here are all the regions of Massachusetts broken up. We are interested in the Western Mass region. We're not really interested in the yeses or the nos here, right? Because we already know it's going to be, we already know our p-hat value, right? But we are interested in this number. So this is, the total is our sample size, 3,022, so we saw that, right? And the percent that Western Mass is 13.1. And so if we find 13.1% equals 0.131, times our sample size, 3022, we get this number, which is 395.8 individuals, which is impossible, so it must be 396, right? So this is our sample size. And this was the hardest thing to find. That's why it's extra credit. Anywho, so then what we have to do is we have to pause. Let me see. I think my letters got mixed up here. This is P21, so we have to do P21 here. P22. Finding our standard error, right? Over our sample size, which is H22. There we go. Our standard error is 0.016. So here's our null hypothesis, which is that people in Western Mass currently smoke marijuana at a proportion or at a rate of 12%. And then the alternative is that they do not smoke at a rate of 12%, and then it's different. My alpha is 0.05. My test statistic is 11, so it's huge, right? Remember, the test statistic is just a z-score, so I do this minus this divided by my standard error. Anyway, this is a really, really small number. My p-value basically rounds down to 0. And I compare these two things, and I say, okay, the p-value is less than alpha. So we're going to reject the null hypothesis, which means that we are in favor of the alternative hypothesis, which means that people in Western Mass smoke marijuana at a different rate than 12%. In fact, we can probably guess it. Here it's 30%, so we can probably guess that it's going to be at a higher rate than 12%. Right? We can't say that they smoke it at a rate of 30% because we actually have to go back and do like another study to figure that out. All right. That's it. That's what the extra credit looks like. Yeah, it's a little tricky. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to post. Thanks a lot.